Hey guys, King of Charmanders here. Today I'll be a judge, your jury, and your analyst. And today I bring to you the top 5 teams in Open Great League for Season 9, Part 1. Now, this is a Part 1 because this will update consistently depending on patterns, etc., or what other people are using. Now, as someone that's created 6 top teams that have appeared on the top 5 on this list, I can tell you that these teams are effective for you to climb and for you to make legend. If you practice them a little bit, or if you do get them, then they will get you these dubs you need so that you can become a legend in Go Battle League, which actually matters this time around according to Niantic. But if there's anything I've learned, never ever trust Niantic completely. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started. As I always say, please consider contributing to pvpoke.com. So as you see here, again, they did get updated, and they were updated on September 3rd. I had work yesterday, and I just ran 10 miles because I'm training for a half marathon. So, since I'm done with that now I'm creating this video for y'all. So, I hope you guys like and subscribe. Anyways, we're gonna go down here, and as you see, the top 5 have been updated. I will cover the top 5 and more teams on this list in the future, like ABB, ABA, etc. Without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so for team number 5, we got Pidgeot Lead, Medicham, and Galarian Stunfisk. I'm guessing G-Fisk, well, G-Fisk is technically the most powerful safe switch statistically right now, so G-Fisk is your safe switch. Medicham closes out. Of course, as all of you know, Pidgeot was unbanned, and a lot of people were using it. It's really that good just because of Feather Dance. So anyways, if this is a Medicham XL, by the way, so you need a Medicham XL, and of course you need to Elite TM Gust on Pidgeot. Gust is a must. No, I didn't do that on purpose. That's I literally just figured that out right now. Anyways, Gust is a must because of the damage it does. Gust plus Pidgeot, you generate a lot of energy. It's like a Confusion clone, and it does really well in Go Battle League. So, as you see here, just because you literally have G-Fisk and Medicham, G-Fisk and Medicham are very similar to G-Fisk Bastiodon. So, because you're seeing a lot less flyers around here, well, you'll still see flyers, but Bastiodon basically doesn't have a lot of targets. If you had to pick it's actually because of this. If you had to pick G-Fisk or Bastiodon, G-Fisk is the answer more of times, especially if you find that you like G-Fisk more, and G-Fisk is the best safe switch. It's also incredibly overpowered. It's super overpowered, okay? It's not tanky, it has energy, it's tanky. Well, it's tanky, but it's tanky, has energy, great moves, and great typing, so G-Fisk is a beast. Anyways, the Pancake, the Chinela, the Slipper, whichever one you want to do, hopefully you are not getting spanked by one right now, otherwise you are in trouble. And if you face this team, you're in a pretty bad spot because it is very powerful. Amazing coverage and safety. When you put G-Fisk, the most powerful safe switch in the game right now, essentially you get this. A for safety, great bulk, and the only reason the consistency is low just because of Pidgeot. Anything that gives you Confusion or Gust will lower your consistency considerably just because it's a 4-turn move. Anyways, as we go down here, as you see against the overall meta, this team is very, very strong. Pidgeot has the ability to debuff the unholy hell out of your opponent, and if you outplay your opponent very, very well, lock it in the back with a Feather Dance debuff, you almost are guaranteed to win. Just because -2 attack is very hard to come back from. As you see, the only mon that really gives this team a problem is Typhlosion. Typhlosion! I used it to make rank 10 in Season 1 when it wasn't buffed because of Incinerate. Anyways, as you see Typhlosions, you don't see a lot of Typhlosions, and even though if you do see Typhlosion, Pidgeot, you can debuff it, or you could sack Pidgeot and farm down Typhlosion, to whichever one you feel like. Because it doesn't reflect the true 2-shield scenario in the lead, Pidgeot still has a strong matchup against Typhlosion. Of course, Pidgeot is going to lose against a few things, like Ninetale, A9, Skarmory, Frostless, basically Thunder and Electric and Ice type. So anything that Pidgeot is weak to, just switch out into G-Fisk, play out the mirror, and then realign. Hopefully you win back switch or realign with Medicham, and then close out with Pidgeot and Medicham XL. This team's really strong with a very low threat score of 608. For Open Great League, a low threat score would be like 600, but the threat score doesn't theoretically matter too much. It just means you don't have a lot of weaknesses in your team, or you're not trying to avoid a particular type. So overall, generally, this team is very powerful. You love Pidgeot, you love G-Fisk, you love Medicham, or if you have a Medicham XL, this one is for you. Alright, Alright, so team number 5, I forgot to mention, was actually used at 0.7%. So generally, like 0.7, as you see statistically, 0.7 is still pretty high. A lot of people are using it, and with a 535 rating, so it's pretty freaking good. Next up, we got Stunfisk, Deoxys Defense, and Tropius. It's good to see the long neck banana. Not really. It's like a flying dinosaur, okay? And it's also regional. So if you don't have one, don't worry. There's a lot of teams here that can do just as well without a Tropius in them. Actually, yeah, it's funny to see. Tropius is super bulky and it's super powerful. And it is back and the top 5 teams because it was actually here for a very long time between like season 3 through 5. Anyways, Tropius. With this team, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, this is a Psycho Boost Thunderbolt Deoxys defense. You should theoretically have one now because it was out in Raid, so you should have one. But this one does use Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt, I'm guessing, is for Azu, and with Thunderbolt, you do cover flyers, and you also cover things like Pelipper. So if you switch into a Pelipper and you want to Thunderbolt it to death, great job. You have DD that can shoot lightning bolts from its tentacles. That sounded weird. Please ignore that. Anyways, as you see here, this team has amazing bulking consistency, great coverage, and safety. Great team across the board. G-Fisk is an incredibly powerful lead. You can use to break shields, or you can Earthquake through shields and then win back, and then just destroy your opponent, depending on what you're facing. G-Fisk is very powerful because, as you see here, in the 2 shield, you actually can have a chance against things like Jellicent. You could take out Jellicent, you could take out Deoxys Defense, you can even take out things like Wish Cash, etc., or you could play the match a certain way. For example, if you face regular Stunfisk, which I've seen in Elite a few times, you could Earthquake, break both shields, and then, or if you Earthquake through shields, you pretty much piss your opponent off because you pretty much win the lead in that fashion. Anyways, as you see, this team is really strong. If you lose lead with Galarian Stunfisk, Deoxys Defense is an incredibly powerful save switch. I played it a lot between seasons 1 through 4, and I actually made it into a top team. So I can tell you, even though DD is really good with Psycho Boost. Psycho Boost is a very, very technical move, so just be careful. But if you play it well and you use it well, it's an incredible save switch. As you see here, this team does struggle against things like Sableye and Azu leads. Azu's really strong just because it's able to take out G-Fisk as well as Deoxys Defense. Just because you resist Deoxys Defense, but that's what you got Thunderbolt for. So with Thunderbolt, it's basically to handle the Azu. Also, as you see here, Ghost types can give you a hard time just because of Deoxys Defense. But generally, because Tropius is so tanky, and this team is just, it puts a lot of pressure, that's why it has an A for consistency, you can do very well against a whole lot of matchups, or have a whole bunch of play. With a 644 rating. Medium high, but like I said, if you play it well, there are plenty of ways you can play this team, so that you can do really well in Go Battle League. If you love Tropius, this team is for you. Sporting at a 0.4% though, so it looks like one individual person was using this, so... But statistically, it's very powerful. So if you like this team, it's for you. Alright, the Cloud Burb is back! The thing that had a community day. You have a giant chicken, KFC, you have a trash can, and then you have a frog that keeps Brock from getting any relationships. Wait, no, that's Toxic. Well, Toxic evolved, right? In the main series? I don't remember. And then Krogan kept poison jabbing Brock to death so that he couldn't get close to any women. Man, this is the MVP. I'm not saying don't get in a relationship, but it's definitely expensive. Considering this team as well, what I'm trying to get at here, this team's also pretty expensive because Registeel is a legendary Pokemon, and legendary Pokemon need 100k dust for their second move. Altaria, however, and a Toxicroak aren't too hard to obtain, or you probably already had one already. This features Altaria in the lead as a with Moonblast and Sky Attack. I'm pretty sure Toxicroak is your safe switch because Registeel is an incredibly powerful closer. If you safe switch into Registeel, a lot of things can beat Registeel at this point, so I wouldn't say it's super safe, but probably a lot of ways you can play out this team. If you look at the overall statistics, 1.7% of individuals were using this team. So what that means is that a lot of people are using this team compared to a lot of the list. The next highest team after this one is actually the Venusaur Sableye G-Fisk team, which is at 3.4%. So a lot of people were using this. So this is where this came from because I actually played it once. Did I beat it? Yes, but I was also very confused because it almost beat me. Anyways, as you see, this team has incredible consistency. All these mons do a lot of damage, or can. You have great coverage, bulk, but not a lot of safety. This team isn't super safe, unfortunately. That's because when you have Toxicroak as kind of a safe switch or Registeel in the back, G-Fisk basically punishes 2 of your team, and G-Fisk is a very popular lead. So this is a very interesting team. I'm guessing what happens is that you sack Altaria in the lead, Toxicroak farms down, and then you blast the backward Registeel. If I had to take a guess and I was using this team from a first look. This team still does well against a lot of meta picks. Altaria is still a very powerful lead. Of course, there are things that will beat Altaria, but this team, this team's still really strong because you have two of them are super meta. One was super meta at one point. So, as you see here, it's very, very powerful, except against Azumarill. Azu can give you a hard time with this entire team unless you're able to Sludge Bomb with Toxicroak or finish it off with Registeel's Flash Cannon. So, it's very rough, or unless you Dragon Breath it to death, which I've done several times. Cofregus, Mantine, Nidoqueen also do very well against this team. Not too much as far as Nidoqueen goes in my opinion, but Nidoqueen can give you a hard time because if it's a Shadow one or regular one, can just Poison Jab you to death and then create plays off of it, so just be careful. And like I mentioned, G-Fisk going G-Fisk. The Mighty Pineapple, or not Pineapple, that's Louis Colo. The Mighty Burt Pancake, the Maple Contraption, the Bear Trap of Doom will take you out, and it's your worst nightmare. And it's here a lot, which is why it has a high threat score. So even though this team is being used a lot and it's very well, and it's very high up the totem pole at 543, I'm kind of confused. It's good, like, I think it's still very good, but like, it's very interesting just because G-Fisk. Anyways, if you like this team, because a lot of people are using it actually, or a lot of individuals, then it's for you. If you like Cloud Burp. Alright, and our top two teams standing at 545, so this is also a pretty popular team, as you see here. We got Medicham XL, Jellicent, and G-Fisk. I'm guessing you could do Jellicent or G-Fisk as safe switch. I'm guessing more G-Fisk is the safe switch for this team. And then you close out with Jellicent, or you realign. Anything with Medicham is incredibly powerful because as an XL, Medicham is a beast. And along with Bastion, it is probably one of the most powerful cores. But as shown in this data for Season 9, put a G-Fisk with it, and it still does just as well. As you see here, this team has A's across coverage, bulk, and safety. And it's not consistent, only because of the fact that you have a Jellicent. Remember what I was saying about 3-4 turn moves? When you put it in there, your consistency drops. I don't know why, it's because you don't have fast move pressure, but it's still very powerful. This team is very strong. When you have a Medicham, oh wait, I forgot to mention, Medicham is using Ice Punch Psychic. You can use, Ice Punch Psychic. Ice Punch is here to cover grass types, of course, for Jellicent, and Psychic can blow through all the poison types in the lead if you manage to hit it with it. So, very powerful, and it's freaking Medicham, okay? The only thing that will give you an issue, though, is Sableye. So, Sableye is still a very powerful safe switch. I've seen it in the lead a few times as well, so it can give you a hard time. But the thing about it is that Medicham isn't necessarily that bad in the 2-shield against Sableye, because Sableye has to return you. But you take super effective damage from those Shadow Claws, so it could hurt a lot. So you basically, Sableye is probably going to be your biggest problem. When it comes to Jellicent, you can try to Psychic through, but unless you get the defense debuff, it's going to be rough. Or what you can do against the Jellicent is you can sack Medicham in the lead, try to Psychic through shield or get something, and then farm down with Jellicent and G-Fisk, and hopefully you can win out the back. That's just the way you could do it. Low-key secret, you can actually take the 2-shield matchup with Medicham XL versus Altaria, so Altaria technically doesn't win the spot right here if you have Medicham in the lead. Again, straight Ice Punch can take out Altaria in the 2-shield, given you don't lag, so it's still very good. Also, Ice Punch gives things like Tropius a problem, and of course Charmers give you an issue as well. You'll lose the lead, say switch into G-Fisk, and then try to realign into Jellicent, but combined, this team still has a low threat score. Just because you're using 3 super meta mon. This is a very super meta team, so when you have super meta versus super meta, guess what? It's super meta. Anyways, low threat score, so if you like Medicham, you like G-Fisk, you like Jellicent, this team is for you. And the most powerful team in Open Great League, statistically, has a Cofregus in it. Cofregus is actually very powerful. Remember, for those of you that have been subbed to me for a while, remember I used to make the What If series? I stopped doing it, by the way, just because it takes a lot of time to do, but remember when I was talking about what if Muerica got Shadow Claw? Well, Cofregus got Shadow Claw. That's a pretty funny prediction, but Cofregus, I'll do an analysis on the Ghost Coffin of Death, because a lot of people have been using it in the lead, and it's actually really good because it has really great stats. Now that it has Shadow Claw. This team is Cofregus lead, Lickitungue's your safe switch, and Machamp closes out. This is a very awkward team. You could probably replace Machamp with Medicham. It's really up to you, but this team is very powerful and also very expensive. But if you do have this team, as you see, 553, and it looks like one crazy individual made it and broke it through to pvpoke.com. I bow my head to you because it's pretty cool to see something that's... Well, Kofrigus is just statistically very powerful. That's why you see it around a lot, and there were a lot of events for it, so you probably have a good one for PvP. As you see, Psychic Shadow Ball is the standard moveset. Lickitung, of course, XL is going to Body Slam and Power Whip to your death. And Machamp going Machamp. Goro going Goro. 4 arms going 4 arms. Not 4 Punch Man, not 1 Punch Man, but 4 Punch Man. Or woman, depending on which one you have. Because it can be male or female. Anyways, as you see, great coverage, bulk, safety, and amazing consistency. Great team across the board. As you see here, Kofrigus is a very interesting mon because with Shadow Claw, it's able to run through a lot of things and does a lot of damage in the lead. So it's a pretty interesting, like, it took me a few days to really figure out this thing, because when I was practicing, I was like, I kind of had an idea a lot of people were using it. I didn't have an idea it would be this powerful. You want to know why? Because of Pidgeot! So as you see, this team struggles very heavily against Wigglytuff and Pidgeot, so 2 normal type Pokemon. That normal type basically just because normal types double resist Ghost, normal types will give you an insanely hard time. Sableye can anything that outdamages you or resists Shadow Claw in like some sense is why Sableye is also very powerful against you, and of course Ghost lose to Dark types, which is why Mandibuzz has a great time in the lead against Kofrigus. Or actually against your lead and Safe Switch, because it does, again, Lickitung has Lick, so Lick's resisted by Dark types. Very high threat score. It seems pretty tricky to play just because Kofrigus and Lickitung. Lickitung's expensive, but the reason why you have you have Machamp in here is to cover Lickitung and Kofrigus against Wigglytuff and Pidgeot. The ironic thing about Wigglytuff is that Machamp still dies to it, but yeah, you still... Charmer going Charm, okay? Charm 2 Shield is probably the worst thing you can see in the lead, and I have seen some Charmers being utilized in the back, so just be very careful, because Wigglytuff going Wigglytuff. Other than that, this team did make the top team, though, so statistically, it's very powerful, and whoever made this team knows how to play around a lot of different combos, so very powerful team. Kofrigus lead, Lickitung XL Safe Switch, that's what I don't like about it. Lickitung XL is very expensive, but it's still an incredibly powerful Safe Switch to this day. Just be careful of Pidgeot, because the big American burb is going to United States of America, United States of Smash Your Elo. If you know that reference, we can be best friends. Anyways, this is an incredibly powerful team, so if you do have the components, I would give it a shot. And it's also statistically the best team in Go Battle League right now in Season 9. Statistically. You could still beat it, but statistically, it's pretty dope. And that's GG's. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, it took a little minute for me to do this because I wanted to take a look at these teams, but they're also very powerful and they do really well. If you would do me a huge favor, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and it's totally free. You can easily subscribe by putting your mouse over that bottom right. You see that little sub box that says subscribe? You can easily put your mouse over it, and the sub tab will pop up, and I do appreciate all my subscribers that are sub to this day. These teams are very strong. Some of them are kind of awkward, so you're going to have to practice a little bit. I did play all these teams and practice them out, but they're still very powerful. And like I said, those little tips I gave you about playing them, that's kind of like how I figured it out, or like a few things you can do. So it's totally up to you, though. If you like one of these teams, they are guaranteed to get you more dubs than L's if you use them well, and if you use them in Go Battle League Open Great League Season 9. Hopefully you guys are doing well in Go Battle League right now. Season 9, again, this is based on Niantic, what they said. This season does matter, so this is the best time to make Legend if you are going to put effort into it. I'm trying this season, so maybe I'll have live battles now, maybe I won't, but I will be analyzing the top 5 ABB teams or more on the top teams list in the future. So with that being said, hopefully these teams do help you climb. Hopefully you're doing well in Season 9 Go Battle League. With that being said, good luck on your Go Battle League sets, and I will see you guys on the next video.
Ciao!